What's up, everybody? What's up? I don't know why my mic keeps messing up. Every time I switch audio things, it messes up. But what's up, everybody? Appreciate y'all being here, man. Game 2, finals tonight. Should be a fun game to watch. I'm excited for tonight's slate. Excited to watch this game tonight. Hope you guys are excited as well. As always, guys, for the next 30 minutes or so, we'll answer questions, talk through this slate. I'm already seeing you guys talking about, the pricing tonight. The pricing's, it's pretty tough for this showdown slate. The value guys that we've kind of been going to are really expensive now, or a little bit more expensive than they have been. So, Pat Connaughton's 4K, like a lot of these guys that we've been getting at dirt cheap price tags are a little bit more expensive. Cam Johnson, who was, 2,800 last slate, he's 6K today. So it's a little bit tougher to build lineups tonight, but as always, we'll kind of talk through who I like, talk through roster construction, and break it all down. Be sure to hit the like button, though, guys, before you do get in here. Appreciate the likes as always, and as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We all think about going heavy on the Bucks tonight. These prices are crazy for the Suns, or going just Booker and then Giannis, Middleton, and Drew. I mean, I would probably prefer the Suns guys over Middleton and Drew. Like, I prefer CP3 and Booker over Middleton and Drew. I think I'm leaning that way, Chris, but yeah, if you want to play Middleton, Drew, Giannis, I mean, I don't know if I'd play all three of those guys in the same lineup. I feel like you're kind of capping your upside at that point. I mean, but it's fine to do that on a showdown slate. No problem with that. But Giannis is definitely the guy I want to pay up for today. The fact that he played 35 minutes last game makes me assume he's full go tonight. He's going to play 36, close to 40 minutes if it's a close game. And we know Giannis is, anytime he's on a slate, he's going to be the top guy. I was a little hesitant on him last game. Wasn't sure exactly how many minutes he would play. Very small amount of value tonight on this slate. Very true, very true. Like the guys we've been playing, like I said, Cam Johnson was 2,800 last slate and he's 6K today. So for me, I think I'm looking at like Jay Crowder, PJ Tucker, maybe like Bobby Portis. Hope he gets you like 15 DK points in like 12 minutes. I think that's kind of where I'm looking to for value. And if you want to take a shot on a 1K Frank Kaminsky, I don't hate that because there's a possibility Frank Kaminsky gets like 6 to 8 minutes today. I don't think it's a guarantee, but with Dario Saric out, Kaminsky could wind up getting in the rotation. I got one bill with Giannis, one with Holiday as captain. I'm fine with that. I mean, Holiday had a bad game last game, but that's automatically, I've kind of said it. Whenever guys have a bad game on these showdown slates, like they're just automatically lower owned in the next game. So I think Holiday is definitely going to be lower owned today because he, struggled last game. Holiday can still have a good game, even when Giannis is in. It's just a little bit less likely. I'm not like Holiday's not the first guy in my lineup. Whereas whenever Giannis was out, you just plug in Holiday, you plug in Middleton, you kind of figure out the rest. Winning lineup had Forbes last game and he only had 7 points. That's very true. Like, when these studs are scoring so many points, like, Giannis, Chris Paul, Booker, Middleton, when these guys are putting up 40 to 50, you're going to have 3, maybe 4 of those top guys. And then just finding the cheap guy that scores like 10 points is going to be what, kind of puts the pieces together, I would say. So, yeah, if you play like a Bryn Forbes and he scores 8 Draftkings points, I mean, that could be enough to be in the winning lineup. Tucker or Connaughton, I think I'm going to take Tucker just because I think he plays a few more minutes, but I feel like Tucker and Connaughton project pretty similarly, but I would probably give the edge to Tucker. I think Tucker's minutes are just a little bit more secure, and he probably does play a few more minutes than Connaughton will. Cam Johnson price is crazy for him to not be a starter. Yeah, Cam Johnson's way too expensive. He was a really good play the last slate when he was 2,800. Now that he's 6K, it's really tough to pay 6K for Cam Johnson. He just doesn't have enough upside to be viable at that price tag. I know, Jay Crowder, Mikal Bridges, those guys don't have a ton of upside either, but I would rather play them over Cam Johnson now that they're all priced similarly. Fade Middleton or not, I mean, Middleton's definitely in play, but I would prefer probably Giannis. I would definitely prefer Giannis, Chris Paul, and Booker over Middleton. When it comes to Drew and Middleton, man, it's just so tough to predict when they're gonna have good games, especially when they're playing alongside Giannis. Like some nights Drew will have a big game playing alongside Giannis. Some nights Middleton will. Last game, neither one of them were that great. You can play Drew, you can play Middleton, but I'm not nearly as confident in them as I have been, whenever Giannis was out. For me, the Bucks guy I want to get to is Giannis. And that's usually how it always is when they're all healthy. What do you think about Crowder in the captain spot? God, I don't feel great about that. Just because, like, Jay Crowder, I mean, for Jay Crowder to be the optimal captain tonight, he's probably going to have to score close to 30 DraftKings points, if not more than that, which he can do, but I'm not confident at all that Jay Crowder can get me 30 DK points. Me personally, I think on this slate, probably just the rest of the finals, I'm going to want to be trying to pay up at captain. Like, I'm pretty sure last slate, either I can't remember if it was Giannis or Chris Paul was the winning captain. I think it was Chris Paul. I think most nights it's going to be, one of those top guys are going to be the optimal captain. I don't think we're going to see many winning lineups with a cheap captain. You can play Jay Crowder at captain, but I don't feel great. I don't feel great about it. I'm more likely to just play Crowder in the util. What's up, Noah? Let's get that money tonight. I'm looking at Connaughton at captain. What do you think? Again, I don't feel great about really any cheap captains, Connaughton included. I just don't know if Connaughton has enough upside to be the winning captain. So, Connaughton, Crowder, I'm more likely to play those guys in the util rather than use them at captain. At least, just my opinion. Middleton and Drew don't play as aggressive when Giannis tries to be the ball handler. When you're having to play alongside Giannis, Giannis is such a high usage player, you're not going to get as much opportunity. Whenever Giannis is out, when he was out those 2 games, it was just Middleton and Drew taking all the shots, just doing everything. With Giannis back, obviously Giannis demands a lot of usage, so yeah, that's kind of true. But they still have upside. Drew and Middleton can still put up big games even when Giannis is playing. It's just not as likely. Favorite captain? If I can get up to Giannis, I want to be paying up for Giannis at captain, or probably Chris Paul. One of the top guys. I want to get one of the top guys in at captain. I know that's probably what everyone else is doing as well, but I just feel like the winning captain's probably going to be one of the studs, in my opinion. What about Kaminsky? Yeah, Kaminsky, he's 1K. He's super, super cheap. I think he's in play. Even if Kaminsky doesn't play and he gets a 0, you could still probably cash. Now, I don't know if you're probably not going to, take down a tournament. You're definitely not going to take down a tournament with a 0 from Kaminsky. But you could probably still min cash. Now, I don't think anyone's really playing these slates to min cash. We're all trying to play for the takedown. But definitely, if Kaminsky gets 8 minutes, he could for sure be in the winning lineup. I don't think it's a guarantee, but he's out of all the 1K guys, he's the first guy that I would be clicking in is Kaminsky. I have 1 out of 15 lineups with Brook Lopez. Should I get more? I don't really like Brook Lopez that much. His minutes got cut down last game. He's been getting really killed in the pick and roll. We saw that happen in the Hawks series. And the only reason he played big minutes the last few games in the Hawks series was because Giannis was out. They just, he pretty much had to play. I don't think we get, if Brook Lopez is getting killed in the pick and roll again, if Chris Paul is just abusing him in the pick and roll, he might get his minutes cut again and only play 22, 24 minutes. So I'm kind of off with Brook Lopez. I think, 1 out of 15 lineups, I'm fine with that. Even if you want a full fade, I don't hate it. Because it's not like he's cheap. he's pretty expensive. He's $7,600. If I can find a salary, I would much rather play, Drew Holiday over Brook Lopez. Definitely, and that's a prize pick that I do like for today. Guys, if you haven't checked out Prize Picks yet, they are the sponsor of this video. Check out Prize Picks, link down below in the description. I do like the under on Brook Lopez. His projection was 26 earlier. They bumped it down to 24.5, but I still like the under there. I just think Brook Lopez's minutes are going to take a pretty big hit moving forward. I don't think he's going to play too many minutes, so I like the under there, 24.5. My man DK, what's up, man? $50 super chat from DK. Thanks again for coming on last stream. Let's run it back soon. 100% DK, 100% my man. Appreciate the $50 super chat. Obviously, you don't have to do that, but I know you wanted to, so I can't stop you. Appreciate the super chat, my man. Thank you. Thank you, DK. And yeah, guys, if you haven't checked out DK's channel, he makes a ton of great DFS content. Check him out. He's growing, man. He's growing. He's on the come up for sure. And we're going to be partnering up a lot. We're going to probably be streaming again for the finals at least 1 or 2 times maybe. When NFL season gets here, we might do some dual streams as well. So, yeah, check out DK, guys. He makes a ton of great content. What are the odds Kaminsky plays good minutes? I don't think it's a guarantee that he gets minutes, but again, if I'm going to play one of those cheap guys like punt plays down there, anyone at 1K, it's going to be Kaminsky. Kaminsky's going to be the first guy that I click in at the $1,000 salary. Because I think, he played 4 minutes last game. He could get like 5 or 6 minutes today. He could kind of replace Sarge's role. I don't think it's a guarantee, but he's viable. Whereas, obviously he hasn't been viable for basically the entire postseason. But now that Sarge is out, there's at least a possibility Kaminsky gets some minutes. Says Cam Johnson will see more minutes because of Sarge being injured. I mean, yeah, that's a possibility. Like, there's a lot of guys that could play more. Like, they could play Jay Crowder a little bit more. They could play Cam Johnson a little bit more. Like, Kaminsky is not guaranteed to play, but they could give minutes to him or, Cam Johnson, Crowder. I mean, there's multiple ways they could go. I mean, I think Cam Johnson, he played his normal minutes last game. Yeah, he played 21 minutes. They could just play him more, play him at the 5, especially when Ayton's off the floor, they just play, just go small. And what about for Yahoo? Giannis, Paul, Booker, Crowder, and Johnson. Giannis, Paul, Booker, Crowder, Johnson. I think that's pretty solid, Chris. I like that. Portis is kind of odd tonight. He's so cheap, but he sat the most of the second half because the Suns went small. Yeah, I don't really know how many minutes Portis plays. My best guess is he gets like 10 to 12 minutes. He's a productive enough player that he can give you enough DK points in that time to be viable at his cheap price tag. So just given that Portis is productive when he's on the floor, I still think he's viable at 3,200, even if he only plays like 10 minutes. I have interest in Portis for sure. Torrey Craig and Forbes in the same lineup, okay. I don't think I'd be playing both of those guys together just because I don't think either one have much upside. It's a possibility that maybe one of the two is in the winning lineup. Like, last slate Forbes, he had like 7 DK points and he was in the winning lineup. Like, Forbes could definitely get 7 DK points again today and be in the winning lineup, but the possibility of Craig and Forbes being in the winning lineup together I think is pretty slim. So I probably would only go with like one of the two there. Anything for prize picks? Yeah, we kind of discussed. I like the under on Brook Lopez just because I think his minutes are going to take a little bit of a hit. I like the over on Giannis still. His projections went up a little bit, but I still like over 53.5 for Giannis. He played 35 minutes last game. I think he plays a few more today. That projection is just a little bit too low in my opinion. DeAndre Ayton, 39 fantasy points. I kind of like the over there as well. He's going to play probably around 40 minutes. He's a fantasy point per minute player. If he does play close to 40 minutes, he should easily go over 39 fantasy points. So those are kind of a few picks I like. Or over on Giannis, over on Ayton, and under on Brook Lopez. And guys, again, if you have not checked out Prize Picks yet, you want to use some of these picks or make some picks for yourself, be sure to use promo code NOAH. When you do sign up, you'll get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. Plus, you'll get an entry into their $1 million promo right now. You look on the screen. Prize Picks doing a $1 million promo. They give you 5 questions. It's usually how many points does each player score. You guess the exact amount of points that each player scores. If you go 5 for 5, you win $1 million. But even if you go 1 for 5 or 2 for 5, you still get a prize as well. So check out Prize Picks, guys, and use promo code NOAH when you do sign up. I gotta catch up on these donos, man. My man Mark, $50 super chat. Noah, thanks for all you do for us and my big win on Saturday. I super chatted you and DK on his site for joint live stream. Here's yours. Let's get it tonight. Hey, I appreciate you, Mark. You didn't have to do that, my man, but thank you for the $50 super chat, Mark. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. And DK as well. Appreciate you, DK. Captain, Giannis, Booker, Crowder, Kaminsky, Chris Paul, and Tucker. I mean, I like that, Chachi. I mean, Kaminsky's the wild card there, but he's 1K. He's going to let you get in the top guys. Like, even if Kaminsky puts up a 0, you could still be fine. Now, are you going to take down a tournament if Kaminsky doesn't play? You're probably not going to take down a tournament, but you could still min cash. So I'm fine playing Kaminsky. I'm fine taking that risk and just hoping he gets like 5 or 6 minutes. And it could be the same scenario as last slate. Like, if Kaminsky plays 6 minutes and scores 8 Draftkings points, he could be in the winning lineup. It's definitely possible. I'm only using Booker and Giannis as my captains. Is that a bad idea? I mean, it depends on how many lineups you're playing, Steve. Like, if you're only playing 2 lineups, I think that's fine. But if you're playing, like, 10 lineups, you probably want to have a little bit more. Like, you probably want to play more than 2 captains if you're playing, like, 10 lineups. What do you think about the under on assists for Jay Crowder and Bridges, and also the under on Bobby Portis fantasy points? I mean, Bobby Portis, 13.5. I don't know about that one. Like, I think Portis plays probably 10 to 15 minutes. He's a productive enough player to where he can go over that. So I don't think I'm going to touch the one on Bobby Portis. But under on assists for Crowder and Bridges, let me take a look at that one. I don't really do the single stat often. I kind of focus on the fantasy points, but looking at the single stat, looking at assist. So Crowder's only gone over 1.5 assists in 4 of his, or he's gone under that in 4 of his last 5 games. So just kind of following the trend, I kind of like that. He's gone under 1.5 assists in 4 of his last 5. Bridges gone under 1.5 assists in 2 of his last 5. I mean, when it comes to these guys, nobody knows how many assists Mikal Bridges or Jay Crowder's going to get. It's kind of just a guessing game. I like to follow the trends, especially when it comes to Crowder. He's gone under this number in 4 or 5, so I kind of like the under on Crowder assists. But the Bridges one, I don't know if I'd touch that one. Jay Crowder and Bobby Portis or Pat Connaughton and Cameron Payne. Give me Jay Crowder and Bobby Portis there. With the Bucks playing small ball, what about Ayton, the captain? I mean, I think Ayton's a fine captain. He had a really good game last game. Again, I think he plays 38 to 40 minutes probably every single night in this series. He was really productive in game 1. He could definitely have another repeat performance in game 2. Like I said earlier, I like his over on prize picks. I like his fantasy point over. So I'm fine with Ayton at captain. I think my 2 favorite captains are probably Giannis and Chris Paul, but Ayton would probably be a third for me. He'd probably be behind those 2 guys. DK was the first NBA guy I watched on YouTube. Yeah, he's been on the come up, man. He hasn't been making videos too long, and I think he's at 8,000 or 9,000 subscribers. Makes great content, for sure. Giannis captain, Middleton, CP3, Payne, Portis, Crowder, too contrarian. I mean, I don't think that's too contrarian. That's probably, that lineup's probably going to be duplicated. It's so hard to make a good lineup that's not duplicated on these showdown slates. Even when you think you have a good contrarian lineup, there's a good chance that other people have the same lineup as you. But, yeah, I think that's fine, Ryan. Nader or Kaminsky? I would play Kaminsky. I mean, did Nader even play last game? I don't think he did. Yeah, Nader didn't even play last game, so I would go with Kaminsky. I mean, there's a good possibility that neither one of them play, but Kaminsky, I think's more likely, I would say. Won $534 on Prize Picks the other night when Connaughton made the 2 free throws at the end and John Collins woke up. Hey, same here, Brandon. I had a really good night on Prize Picks that same night. I had the over on Connaughton as well, so when he made those 2 free throws, that put him over his projection. I was sweating that one for sure. You think Chris Paul will go over 50 plus again? I mean, it's possible. He's been so good in the playoffs. He's been just contributing in all categories, scoring, getting a ton of assists. He's playing big minutes. If I had to, gun to my head, does Chris Paul score 50 plus fantasy points? I would say he probably does. I think he comes pretty close to that number. But I think Chris Paul is a good play. I mean, him and Giannis were my 2 favorite spin-ups at captain. And if you want to take his over on Prize Picks as well, I don't mind that one either. Missed this answer earlier. Do you think Ayton will outscore Booker again, fantasy points-wise? I think they project pretty similarly, IMAX. If I had to pick one who who scores more points, I think I think Booker most times probably outscores Ayton. But it's so close between those 2 guys. I mean, they both probably play similar minutes. Booker probably plays a few more minutes, so maybe that's why I give the edge to him. What's your thoughts on Holiday? I mean, Drew Holiday, whenever Giannis is healthy, Drew and Chris Middleton, it's so tough to predict when they're going to put up big games. They still have upside playing alongside Giannis, but it's just so tough to predict when you're going to get that good game from Drew, when you're going to get that good game from Middleton. Whereas whenever Giannis is out, those guys are they just produce every time when Giannis is out. But now with Giannis playing, I'm not as high on Drew and Middleton. And that's not saying they're going to have a bad game tonight. I prefer the Suns guards over them. So I'd rather play Booker. I'd rather play Chris Paul. How about Holiday, Giannis, Ayton, Middleton, Forbes, Connaughton? I mean, I'm fine with that. Holiday, again, I don't love. You're playing Holiday, Giannis, and Middleton together. That feels like a bit too much. I think it's pretty unlikely that all 3 of those guys are in the winning lineup tonight. So maybe you could swap Middleton to Booker or something, or Holiday to CP3, whatever. But I mean, that's fine. But I think you're probably capping your upside a little bit if you do play Giannis, Middleton, and Drew all together in the same lineup. Captain, Cameron Payne, Util, Giannis, Booker, CP3, Craig, Middleton. I mean, Cam Payne at captain, like, I don't really like that much at all. I don't know, Cam Payne he's not getting enough minutes and doesn't have enough upside right now, in my opinion, to be the optimal captain. For Cameron Payne to be the optimal captain tonight, he's going to have to be super productive in the 15 minutes he plays, or he's going to have to see increased minutes because of like an injury or something. Again, I think this is a slate where I think Ayton and up, that's kind of where I want to be focusing on my captain exposure. Kaminsky and Craig, same lineup, okay or not? I mean, I'm fine with that. Craig, I don't think him and Kaminsky don't really negatively correlate. I think Craig's going to get his 15 to 20 minutes regardless. The big wild card, though, is, does Kaminsky get any minutes? But at 1K, I'm willing to take that risk. Ayton or Booker, more fantasy points. Again, that's a super close one. I think I'd probably just give the edge to Booker because I think he plays a few more minutes than Ayton does. But they project so closely. I mean, it's so tough between those two. Captain Kaminsky, Paul, Booker, Middleton, Holiday, Ayton. I can't. There's no shot I'm playing Frank Kaminsky at captain. I like him as just a punt play in the util and hoping he gets you like 10 points, but there's no shot I'm playing him in the captain spot. It's just too risky. If Frank Kaminsky puts up 0 tonight and you play him at captain, you probably don't have a chance. But if you play him in the util and he puts up a 0, you could still probably min cash. How many minutes for Cam Johnson? I mean, he probably plays 20 to 25 like he has been the whole playoffs. At his price on DK, he's too expensive. There's no way I'm paying $6K for Cam Johnson. Kaminsky and PJ or Portis and Craig. Give me Portis and Craig there. What's up, Noah? Just joining. If you're doing one lineup, who's your captain and who's your punt? If I'm doing one lineup, I would say Giannis is probably my captain. And then, again, I think I'm fine playing Frank Kaminsky in the flex and just hoping he puts up, like 8, 10 Draftkings points. If Frank Kaminsky plays like 6 or 8 minutes tonight, he could definitely be in the winning lineup. So, for me, I'm trying to pay up at Giannis for captain, and then I'm fine playing Frank Kaminsky as a punt option. Again, I don't think it's a guarantee he steps on the floor, but I'm willing to take the risk with how cheap he is. Keep asking these crazy captain questions. I mean, look, you guys, you do what you want. I'm here to just give my thoughts. If you want to, do what I say, you can. But yeah, I don't think this is a slate where I would be playing a cheap captain. There's just no good cheap captains I feel great about today. We'll see at the end of the night. We'll see what the winning lineup is. But I would be very surprised if the winning lineup doesn't have one of those top guys at captain. Cam Johnson 6K, that's wild after one game. Yeah, I think it's just because of how owned he was. Like he was like 55-60% owned last slate. So yeah. Anytime a guy gets that much ownership, they're just automatically going to get boosted in their price. You see it happen all the time, during the regular season. Giannis, Paul, Booker, Kaminsky, Crowder, and Tucker. I think that's pretty solid. I like that a lot. Your top captain, I mean, if I can fit Giannis in, he's the guy I want to be playing at captain. Thoughts on Connaughton and Tucker in the same lineup? I'm fine with that. I think Connaughton plays 25, 26 minutes off the bench. I think Tucker plays 30 to 35. So, yeah, you could definitely play those two guys together. I don't think they really negatively correlate in any way. Tucker or Connaughton, I think if I had to pick one, I'd go Tucker just because I think he plays a few more minutes. But I'm fine with both guys. Those are two guys I'm definitely looking to as, punt value plays. Just because the value's tough, man. There's not as many good cheap options as there was last slate. Ayton captain, Giannis, CP3, Booker, Craig, Forbes. I think that's solid, Ryan. I'm fine with that. Love your content in streams. I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Paul or Booker. I think I leaned Chris Paul. Last slate, I preferred Devin Booker, and obviously Paul outscored him. Today, I prefer Paul, so that probably means Booker will do better. But yeah, I think I'd give the edge to Paul today. Chris Paul's he's been so good, man. He's scoring a ton right now. He's been way more aggressive. He's getting a ton of assists, which is something he always does. Chris Paul is going to be a top option pretty much not on a nightly basis moving forward, I think. How about Crowder for captain? Again, I don't really like any cheap captains. I would say if I was going to play a cheap guy at captain, it probably would be Crowder. just because I think he has potential to get like 30 DK points. He can knock down some threes, get double-digit rebounds, just kind of luck his way into like a double-double. But again, there's no cheap captains I feel great about. If I had to pick somebody, though, like under 6K to play at captain, probably would be Crowder. Any last-minute prize picks you like? Yeah, we kind of already discussed a few. Under on Brook Lopez, I like just because I think his minutes are going to continue to kind of trend down just with how things have been going, with how much he's been getting, kind of bullied in the pick and roll. And then Giannis over I still like. Over on Ayton I like as well. The rest of these projections feel somewhat accurate. I don't mind the over on PJ Tucker still. I mean, PJ Tucker's gone over this projection in 3 straight games. He's gone over it in 4 of his last 5. PJ Tucker's going to play 30 minutes. You never know what you're going to get from PJ Tucker, but I think he plays enough minutes to where he can go over 14.5 fantasy points. So I like the over there if you want to take that one too. Those are a few picks I like for prize picks. Obviously, I can't give away everything. I do give stuff away on Patreon, but those are a few that I like. What do you think about Lopez tonight? I said it earlier, I'm off of Lopez. I don't think he plays more than 25 minutes. His minutes have been trending down. We saw it happen in the Hawks series. At the beginning of the series, he only played like, I can't remember. I think he played like 22 or 24 minutes. They were benching him late in the game. It seems like they want to play Giannis at center. That's kind of their best lineup right now. Just playing Giannis and Lopez alongside each other just hasn't been working lately. So, yeah, I think Brook Lopez is going to see his minutes take a pretty solid hit. I think most nights he's only going to play low 20s minutes in this series, which pretty much takes me off of him on the showdown slate, and I like his under on prize picks. Frank was confirmed to play minutes tonight. If you saw that, can you link it to me? Because I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any confirmation that Kaminsky will get minutes. But if you can link that to me, I'd love to see that. Painter Portis, I'd probably go Bobby Portis there. If Frank starts, Frank Kaminsky's not going to start. He would come off the bench. The only reason that Frank Kaminsky might get minutes is because Dario Saric is injured. Last game when Dario Saric got injured, Kaminsky did play like 4 or 5 minutes. So there's no guarantee that Kaminsky plays tonight, but with Saric out, I think there's a possibility he plays like 6 to 8 minutes and kind of just does what Dario Saric was doing. It's pretty much the backup center. I think Ayton will get a double-double tonight. I mean, he should. I think he's gotten a double-double like every game in the playoffs. Let's see. I mean, yeah, he's like a walking double-double at this point. Ayton or Booker, again, I think I lean Booker. I think he plays a few more minutes. But Ayton and Booker project so similarly. Crowder or Johnson, give me Jay Crowder. Middleton or Ayton on DK at U2, I think I would take Ayton there. That's close for me between Middleton and Ayton, but I think I'd take Ayton. What about Pat Connaughton going over fantasy points? Yeah, I like that one as well. I was able to get it at 11.5. They boosted his projection up a little bit. It's 13.5 now. I still don't mind the over there, but I'm not as confident in it. But yeah, I did take Connaughton over 11.5. It's up to 13.5 now, but I still don't mind taking the over there. Again, Connaughton's going to play 25, 26 minutes. You don't really know what you're going to get from Pat Connaughton, but I think he plays enough minutes to where he can easily go over 13.5 fantasy points. So I like that over too. And yeah, I like the over on PJ Tucker as well. Already kind of mentioned that one. PJ Tucker he's getting enough minutes right now. He can easily go over 14.5 fantasy points. He's gone over that in 4 of his last 5. What do you think of Crowder at captain? Yeah, we've already mentioned that. I don't really like a ton of cheap captains today. This is a slate where I want to be paying up at captain, but if I was going to play a cheap captain, I think it would be Jay Crowder. If you force me to play someone that cheap at captain, he'd be probably my first option. Bridges or Crowder? I think I'd take Crowder. I mean, Bridges and Crowder they're pretty much the same player. They do the same thing. They shoot threes, they get rebounds, that's about it. I would probably just take Crowder because he's cheaper. Coach was praising him, so he should play unless they gassing him up for no reason. I guess we'll see. I mean, I didn't see anything about that, but the fact that Kaminsky got into the game last game kind of makes me assume he'll play again today, or he'll get minutes again today. It was a joke. Great content. Good luck, all. Hey, appreciate you, John. Appreciate you. Yeah, when you said Kaminsky starting, I didn't know what you were meaning. I was pretty sure that was going to be a joke. Kaminsky surpassed 10 minutes in each of the Suns' final 12 games, averaging 7.8 points, 5.3 rebounds. I mean, yeah, Kaminsky's been kind of just dating back to when he was on the I forgot what team when he was on the Hornets, like back in the day, if you guys remember that. I mean, Kaminsky was always somewhat productive when he got minutes. If Kaminsky does play like 8 minutes tonight, he could definitely do enough to make the optimal lineup with how cheap he is. So, yeah, I mean, I like Kaminsky. I like him as a punt option. If he doesn't play, oh well, move on to the next slate. But I think if he does get like 8 minutes, there's a good possibility he does enough to make the winning lineup tonight. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up the stream here, though. I do appreciate you guys tuning in, as always. Lastly, I want to give a shout-out to my man Mark, $50 Super Chat. Appreciate you, Mark, as always. And my man DK. If you guys have not checked out DK's channel, check it out. He makes a ton of great content. Me and him are definitely going to be doing some more dual live streams in the future. We'll probably do one for the NBA season before NBA ends. We'll probably do some during NFL as well. So check out DK's channel. I appreciate the $50 Super Chat, DK. But best of luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching, as always. One quick shout out to Prize Picks before we do end the stream. Prize Picks, they are the sponsor of the stream. We've partnered up together. Going to be working with them moving forward. If you guys do want to check out Prize Picks, we've kind of already discussed some picks I like for today. You can sign up for Prize Picks, link down below in the description, or just use promo code NOAH. When you do sign up, you'll get a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100, and you'll get an entry into their $1 million promo. You do look on the screen right now. Prize Picks running a $1 million promo, giving away $1 million. They give you 5 questions to answer. It's usually just how many points do you think each of the top guys scores. If you go 5 for 5, you get every question right, you win $1 million. It's as easy as that. And even if you go 1 for 5 or 2 for 5, you still do get, I think, $50 gets you. If you go 1 for 5, you get 2 for 5. I think you get like $100, and then it just keeps going up. So check out Prize Picks, guys, if you have not yet. Link down below in the description, or just use promo code NOAH when you do sign up. But as always, guys, thanks for tuning into the stream. Best of luck on the slate. Enjoy the game tonight. Next game is on Sunday, I do believe. Game 3 is on Sunday, so I don't know if I'll be streaming on Sunday. We'll kind of have to see, but I'll definitely have a video up for Sunday's game. But yeah, good luck tonight, guys. Thanks for tuning in.